GVTV News.
Thanks, Sheriff Royal, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's World News headlines, and out of France, hostages taken in 2 standoffs, and then some extra news that came in after this report. And Jesus Ahmed, hashtag honors slain Muslim officer in Paris. And out in Nigeria, hundreds feared dead after Boko Haram attack. And Sri Lanka elects new president in surprise upset. And in Mexico, 13 police held over journalist disappearance. In Saudi Arabia, a blogger publicly flogged for insulting Islam. And Honda fined record $70 million for failing to report crashes. And Obama announces plan for 2 years of free community college. And Pentagon to consolidate forces in Europe, keep levels the same. Senator Bernie Sanders on Keystone XL, Congress turns its back on science, he says. And Senator Barbara Boxer to retire in 2016. And Democratic lawmakers oppose Obama's push to fast-track trade deals. And Ohio to delay execution, drop 2 drug cocktails. An extended Tamir Rice shooting video shows police failed to provide medical aid, tackled sister. And GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural County's television network whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, French police surrounded a building in northern town of near Charles de Gaulle Airport. And as part of a massive manhunt, the 2 men accused of carrying out the Charlie Hebdo massacre, police shot and killed Said and Sheriff Kochi. They were holed up in a small printing business where they had taken hostage. Meanwhile, French officials announced that there's a link between the 2 brothers and the heavily armed man who shot dead a French police woman on Thursday. Suspect in the shooting was reportedly taken hostage at a kosher supermarket in Paris. Another terrorist took 4 hostages in Paris. All of them died, including the terrorist. And people across France and around the world are paying tribute to the victims of the Charles Hebdo attack, including police officer Ahmed Merabit, whose execution on the sidewalk outside the office was captured on video and shown around the world. Thousands have memorialized Merabit with social media hashtags Jesus Ahmed or I am Ahmed to take on viral hashtag Jesus Charlie. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon paid tribute to Merabit when he called for unity and said, "We now know a policeman's name. He was Ahmed Merabit. He himself was a Muslim. This is yet another reminder that we are facing together. It should never be seen as a war on religion. For religion or on religion, it is an assault on our common humanity and designed to terrify and incite." In Nigeria, the militant group Boko Haram, the Islamic Muslim terrorists, has laid siege to a northeastern town in Baga. The militants have reportedly decimated the town and attacked surrounding areas, leaving bodies strewn in the streets. Death toll is feared to be hundreds, with estimates that local officials range from more than 100 as high as 2,000 people. South Asian nation of Sri Lanka has elected a new president, dealing an unexpected defeat to President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who has ruled the country for nearly a decade. Rajapaksa credited for defeating the Tamil Tigers in 2009 after a 26-year civil war, but accused of presiding over war crimes and conflicts in the final stages. His opponent, who won their election as acting defense minister in the bloody final days of the conflict. This is pictured here. I couldn't pronounce his name. In the Mexican state of Veracruz, 13 local police have been detained over the disappearance of the journalist Moses Sanchez, who reported the drug-related violence and corruption and was kidnapped from his home in Medellin de Bravo earlier in the month. The 13 officers detained constitute about a third of the municipal police force. And in Saudi Arabia, an imprisoned blogger and activist has been publicly flogged. Raif Badawi was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 1,000 lashes to be carried out at a rate of 50 per week for charges including insulting Islam. Amnesty International considers Badawi a prisoner of conscience who has been punished for creating an online forum for debate. U.S. State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki has urged Saudi Arabia to review the case and cancel the floggings, but they didn't. The Obama administration has fined Honda a record $70 million in failing to report death and injury claims related to its vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration announced the fine that it was revealed the automaker failed to report more than 1,700 claims over more than a decade. And President Obama has announced a new proposal to make community college free for 2 years to students who maintain a certain grade point average. Under the plan, the federal government would pay 75% of tuition, while states would need to pay the remaining 25%. In a video ahead of today's formal announcement, Obama said the plan was part of a preview of policies outlined in his upcoming State of the Union address. And he said, put simply, what I'd like to do is to see that the first 2 years of community college free for everybody who's willing to work for it. That's right, free for everybody who's willing to work for it. It's something that we can accomplish. It's something that will train our workforce so that we can compete with anybody in the world. Pentagon is consolidating its forces in Europe and returning 15 sites to their home countries in a purported cost-saving measure, but the plan will keep U.S. troop levels about the same, with increases in Italy and Germany. The plan to launch the new fleet of stealth fighter jets from a base in England. And U.S. lawmakers have advanced a measure to approve the Keystone XL oil pipeline, which would bring tar sands oil from Canada to U.S. Gulf Coast. Newly Republican-led Senate Energy Committee approved the bill, which President Obama vowed to veto. Senator Bernie Sanders denounced the measure. He said, I am very worried about the United States Congress turning its back on science, turning its back on all those people who tell us that we've got to cut carbon emissions rather than give a green light for the exploration and production of some of the dirtiest oil on the planet. I think, frankly, this is crazy. The vote on Keystone XL comes as one of Senate's leading voices in environmental protection. California Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer has announced she will not run for re-election in 2016. Boxer, who was first elected in '92, has supported reproductive rights and gun control, and one of the immortal 23, the 23 senators who voted against authorizing the U.S. invasion of Iraq. A coalition of Democratic lawmakers have joined with labor and environmental activists to oppose President Obama's plans to fast-track approval of trade deals. The Obama administration has been quietly pressing for the authority to secretly negotiate trading pacts and then rush them through Congress with an up-and-down vote. The new powers could help Obama push through the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a secretive pact encompassing 40% of the global economy. On Thursday, Connecticut's Democrat Representative Rosa DeLauro said trade deals merit debate and cannot be rushed, and said trade deals go well beyond trade. They can compromise and the quality of food we eat. They can raise the prices that we pay for medicines. They can attack our environmental regulations, weaken our financial regulations, stop our government from supporting American business, and they do nothing to stop the injustice of currency manipulation. Ohio has announced it will drop its two-drug cocktail that was used during a botched 26-minute execution in which a prisoner gasped for air. The same two drugs combined was used in an execution in Arizona which lasted nearly 2 hours. Ohio says it's delayed at least one execution as it seeks a replacement of the anesthetic, but the anesthetics have been nearly impossible to obtain due to a refusal by European drug makers to sell them for executions. A newly released video from fatal police shooting in Cleveland, Ohio, shows an officer failed to provide medical help to 12-year-old Tamir Rice after they shot him and knocked his sister to the ground as she ran to him. Previously released footage showed police shot Rice within 2 seconds of pulling up next to him in a park where he was playing with a toy gun. Following a battle with city officials, Northeast Ohio Medical Media Group obtained a longer version which shows Rice did not receive medical attention until 4 minutes after the shooting, when an FBI agent who was in the area came to his aid. About a minute after Rice was shot, his 14-year-old sister is seen rushing towards him as he lies behind a police cruiser. Police tackled her to the ground, then handcuffed her and placed her in the cruiser, feet from her dying brother. Footage matches what the sister, Taja, told the Today Show last month. She said, "I ran to the gazebo and I couldn't get all the way to him because the officer attacked me, threw me on the ground, tackled me on the ground, and then put me in handcuffs and put me in the back of the police car right next to his body." Video shows it took more than 8 minutes for emergency medical personnel to arrive, more than 12 minutes for Tamir Rice to be taken away in a stretcher. He was pronounced dead hours later at a hospital. An environmental activist sentenced to 19 years in prison for eco-terrorism in what his supporters say was a case of FBI entrapment has been released after serving 9 years. Eric McDavid was convicted of plotting to bomb sites in California, including Nimbus Dam, but his attorney says he was entrapped by a teenage informant who supplied him with food, housing, bomb-making instructions, and pressured him into illegal activities. As part of a settlement, federal prosecutors acknowledged withholding evidence in the case, including an FBI request for the informant to undergo a lie detector test. McDavid was released after pleading guilty to a conspiracy charge. The White House has responded to a petition calling for firing a federal prosecutor who led the case against the internet freedom activist Aaron Swartz. 2 years after the petition was created, more than 60,000 people signed a petition in whitehouse.gov calling for the firing of the U.S. Attorney Carmen Ortiz for prosecutorial overreach against Swartz, who took his own life 2 years ago this Sunday, on January 11th, 2013. Swartz's suicide came just weeks before he was set to go on trial for downloading millions of academic articles with the intent of making them freely available. He faced decades in prison. The petition, launched the day after Swartz's death, quickly passed the threshold of 25,000 signatures, which at the time was supposed to be the mandate for public response from the White House. 2 years later, the White House has issued a statement refusing to address agency personnel matters in a petition response. In a statement, David Siegel, head of the group Demand Progress, which Swartz co-founded, said a White House that truly cared about protecting internet freedom would recognize the chilling effects that actions like those of Carmen Ortiz have on activists and technologists, and see to it that they were put to an end. And that's it for the World News today. Now, another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. That's right. It's time for the police blotter. Pictures in the blotter, not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County law enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Wednesday, 8:01 a.m., a caller from 1700 block of East Main Street reported an attempted burglary to a bank night drop box. 10:20 a.m., a caller reported drug activity. 11:11 a.m., a caller from Memorial Park reported a buck knife and money and tools were stolen from an unlocked vehicle. Notice the word unlocked. 11:45 a.m., a caller reported check fraud. 1:15 p.m., a caller from 100 block of West Empire Street reported juveniles smoking in front of a store every day. And 1:50 p.m., a man from 100 block of Neal Street reported being assaulted by a man who then left on foot. And 3:06 p.m., a caller from 800 block of Sutton Way reported a physical fight involving a man and a woman, with him reportedly grabbing her cell phone. A man was arrested on suspicion of battery on a spouse and robbery. 4:26 p.m., a woman reported she stopped at Sutton Way and Olympic Park Road when a young man jumped on the hood of her car and acted as if she had struck him. He then asked her to buy him a beer and said he was 19. 4:29 p.m., a man reportedly being falsely accused of sexual abuse. And 4:30 p.m., a caller from Idaho Maryland Road reported theft of cables. And 4:51 p.m., a caller from 1000 block of Slate Creek Road reported identity theft. And 7:03 p.m., a caller from 100 block of West Empire Street reported a man kicked a dog repeatedly who yelled at the caller when confronted. He could not be located. 8:20 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Broadview Avenue reported a man loitering with a flashlight looking at residences. He said he was stargazing. 8:26 p.m., a caller from business 1000 block of Plaza Drive reported receiving counterfeit bills. And Thursday, 12:53 a.m., a caller from Dorsey Drive reported assault that occurred Sunday. In Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday, 8:38 a.m., a caller from 14,000 block of Allison Ranch Road reported a stolen Nissan Frontier. 8:44 a.m., a caller from Lyman Gilmore School reported a drug issue. And 8:45 a.m., a caller from Bear River High School reported a theft, but not from the school. 8:46 a.m., a caller from Spenceville Road reported a dog that was being tethered 7 hours a day with no shelter. A warning was posted. At 8:57 a.m., a caller from 14,000 block of Sky Pines Road requested a welfare check on a skinny horse. At 9:03 a.m., a caller from Highway 49 on Independence Trail reported a vehicle might have gone off the road. At 9:17 a.m., a caller from 12,000 block of McCourtney Road reported possible fraud from an online scholarship application. 9:37 a.m., a caller from 17,000 block of Dog Bar Road reported a dozen cattle in the roadway. They were rounded up. At 10:07 a.m., a caller from 23,000 block of Scotts Flat Road reported abandoned vessel. Assistance was provided. 10:33 a.m., a caller from 11,000 block of Skipper Court reported theft of jewelry. At 10:42 a.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Willow Valley Road reported drug activity with people seen rolling marijuana cigarettes and snorting something. 12:43 p.m., a caller from 16,000 block of Wolf Meadow Road reported top of a Jeep was cut open. And 1:16 p.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Robinson King Road reported the theft of items. At 3:46 p.m., a caller from 17,000 block of Penn Valley Drive reported a man put merchandise down his pants. At 7 p.m., a caller from 11,000 block of Mirror Lake Court reported 3 men with flashlights and rifles possibly night hunting. They could not be located. 7:34 p.m., a woman from 13,000 block of Golden Star Road reported a man had broken into her house with other people. A man was arrested on suspicion of trespassing. 9:04 p.m., a woman from 12,000 block of McCourtney Road reported her vehicle was broken into and her purse was stolen. And Thursday, 4:20 a.m., a man from 15,000 block of Brewer Road reported a man walking through his property who then ran through the neighbor's yard. No one was located. At 4:37 a.m., a woman from 10,000 block of Glenbrook Estates Court reported a person rang her doorbell and then ran off. No one was located. And Nevada City Police Department on Wednesday, 12:55 p.m., a caller from Niles Street reported the theft of mail from an armored car. The report was unfounded. 1:06 p.m., a caller from Highway 20 and Broad Street reported a person selling marijuana. Can you imagine that? 11:38 p.m. A woman from Woodpecker Lane reported a man banging on the door, yelling to be let in. One man was arrested on suspicion of loitering. Another was arrested on suspicion of loitering and violating probation. And that's it for the blotter today. Now, another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's local news headlines, League of Women Voters to hold Common Core meeting. In Nevada City, vehicle collision leaves woman with minor injuries. And Penn Valley School District terminates superintendent. In our first story, the Nevada County League of Women Voters will host a meeting discussing the Common Core state standards at 9:30 a.m. Saturday at Peace Lutheran Church located at 828 West Main Street. The meeting will include refreshments and run till noon and the goal of educating the community regarding Common Core. What is it? What's its point? What are common misconceptions? How does the testing work? Are some of the main questions the event seeks to answer for community members. The meeting will feature guest speaker Kathleen Kiefer, Director of Curriculum and Instruction of Nevada County's Office of Education, and Devin Bradley, a Penn Valley Middle School teacher, who will speak to their experience and results both before and after the implementation of Common Core. Community members are invited to attend and receive basic information defining what the Common Core curriculum is, how it applies strategically in California classrooms, and teachers' training programs. 30-minute Q&A will be held for attendees to address questions and concerns. For more information, you can go to www.lwvwnc.org. On Wednesday evening, Penn Valley Union Elementary School District Board voted unanimously to terminate the contract of Superintendent Angela Hake. The board did not cite a reason for the decision in a written statement issued to the public. Board President Tina Skrudd, I think it is, declined to elaborate on the action of the phone interview Thursday, saying only that it was a personal matter. The board gave no specific reason for its unanimous action except to say that Dr. Hake's contract allows for termination without cause. The board did state that a change in the best interest of the district and that it wished Dr. Hake well in her future endeavors, according to the statement. The decision was supported by the Teachers Association. We're confident that the board deliberated carefully and took action in the best interest of everyone involved in our educational community, students, staff, parents, and community, said Peter Minnitt, president of the Penn Valley Teachers Association. Messages to Hake for comment on the board's action went unreturned as of Thursday afternoon by the local newspaper. Hake has only been with the district for 5 months, having been hired in August of 2014. The change in leadership comes amid a challenging fiscal time for the district, which is operating in a deficit. The school district currently faces a budget shortfall of approximately $295,000 this fiscal year, according to Skrudd. Per her contract with the district, Hake is entitled to buy out of 12 months' salary and benefits. The amount is about $120,820 to $112,000 for her salary and another $8,820 for benefits, according to Skrudd. While the district has maintained its reserves, Hake was not able to give a solid figure to how much of it in reserve in the interview with the union last month, saying only that the district policy was to keep 14% reserved for fiscal situations. The board wasn't finalizing plans for the superintendent search as of yet. Tina Corker, principal of Pleasant Valley and Williams Ranch Schools, will serve as acting superintendent. The school's district business manager position is also vacant. The business manager job will be addressed at the school's district regular monthly meeting set for Tuesday. And if you want underwriting for our news, give us a call, 530-362-8889.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's